Well, Broncos fans, it is not the news that we were hoping for. In fact, this is probably as close to the worst news that you could possibly get. Welcome in to the Broncos Breakdown by Chat Sports. My name is Moose, and on today's episode, I am going to talk a little bit about what's breaking around the Denver Broncos. Pat Surtain is officially out for 4 to 6 weeks with a pec strain. Pec strain from Adam Schefter, Ian Rapoport, and multiple other sources. They're coming out and saying that he is now confirmed to be a prime candidate to go on IR. We know for a fact that he will miss between 4 to 6 weeks, which usually indicates about 5. This is the reigning defensive player of the year. He's the best cornerback in the league. He is the captain of your defense, the best player on your defense. This is a major blow. It hurts. There's no doubt about it. Especially since you're going up now against the toughest part of your schedule. You have the Houston Texans, you have divisional opponents in the Raiders, then you play the Chiefs, you play the Washington Commanders. I mean, it's just not going to get any easier. And then right around the time that he's projected to come back, you still have to play the Jacksonville Jaguars, you still have to play the Green Bay Packers, the Chiefs again, and the Chargers at the end of the season. So the worst possible time to get Pat Surtain not on the field, or for Pat Surtain to get injured. This is why you subscribe, by the way. Every single time there's breaking news, I'm going to cover you. Make sure you hit that subscribe button for all things Denver Broncos 365 days a year. Look, I'm not going to front with you. It is not a good thing. However, the Broncos actually now can look to Jahdae Barron to play that outside corner spot. You've got Riley Moss on one side. He's primarily your X cover now. So he's going to have to go up against some really good number one wide receivers. But Jahdae Barron now has the opportunity to flip to the outside. That means Jaquan McMillan slides into the slot. That's, that starting slot player, and instead of that rotational slot with Jahdae. And this is really the opportunity now for Jahdae to show what he's got. This is why you drafted him, the versatility. We talked all about it. And in fact, I made a video, I scripted it earlier today. I filmed it earlier today. It's not going out right now because of the breaking news, but I had talked about Jahdae Barron and how this is why you drafted this kid, was because you can put him anywhere on the defensive side of the football at defensive back, whether that be a safety if you put on 5 to 10 pounds, a nickel corner, an outside corner, and he can go out and make plays. This is going to be the first real test for him, because if you don't put Jahdae Barron on the outside, it's going to be Chris Abrams-Drain. Now, I realize that Chris Abrams-Drain had a really good preseason. There's no doubt about it. And I do believe that given the right amount of snaps, he could be serviceable for you. But he's not Pat Surtain, and he's not the talent of Jahdae Barron. That much is obvious. So now you're looking at going with Riley Moss, Jahdae Barron, Jaquan McMillan as your starting corners. But again, this is why you drafted the kid. This is why you decided to go out and spend your first-round pick on the nickel corner from Texas. This is going to be a very, very huge matchup, because now Riley Moss is going to have to go up against Nico Collins next week. And Nico Collins is one of the biggest, strongest, fastest wide receivers in the NFL. And the Texans are no slouch. They're catching themselves at the right time. They've got a great defense. They really, really do. Their offensive line, really shaky. C.J. Stroud seems to have regressed a little bit. So you can get after this team. You'll also have to lean on this already incredible pass rush. The defensive line has to shore up. The run defense has to be better, because now knowing that your best player on defense is out, you have to lean on other players, that next man up mentality. It really is. But I do believe in Jahdae's ability. I do believe in Riley's ability, even though, we've seen Riley get cooked a couple of times this year. He had a couple of penalties against the Dallas Cowboys, not all of which his fault. Some bad calls here, some bad calls there. But look, you're going to have to lean on Jahdae and Riley to take over some really talented wide receivers. I mean, when you play the Washington Commanders, you got Deebo Samuel and Zach Ertz and Terry McLaurin. So there are some really good players that you're going to be going up here against really, really soon. And Pat Surtain being now out for, we'll call it 5 weeks, we'll split the difference. It's a blow. It certainly is a blow. Now, we're going to continue on talking about what this means for the Denver Broncos and why I believe that, again, not all is The sky isn't falling. Not everything is crazy bad right now. I got to tell you about our friends over at Prize Picks. Listen, Prize Picks is the very best place on any app to win real money this football season. You have this awesome new feature called the Stacks feature, where you can pick the same player up to 3 times in the exact same lineup. It is really simple. So like Bo Nix, if you wanted to pick the more on his touchdowns, his rushing yards, and his passing yards, you can now do that in the exact same lineup on Prize Picks. All you have to do is head on over there, download the app today, and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Again, there's another feature that you can use that's called, you can copy like all these cool lineups, right? You can go to the feed tab, click that. You can follow me. You can follow awesome people like Producer Reed if you wanted to. Copy their lineups in one new click over on the feed tab. Remember to download the Prize Picks app today. Use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. All of that is going to be in the comments and description of today's video. Prize Picks, it is good to be right. So I don't want to spend too much time talking about this. I'll have a deeper dive for you tomorrow. We'll get into some of the Denver Broncos rumors and news surrounding the Pat Surtain injury. But look, Pat Surtain, there's not a lot that I can't say about him because he embodies what every corner wants to be in the NFL. He is athletic. He's got great coverage skills. He mirrors routes unbelievably. He's good in man coverage. He's good in zone coverage. He can press you off the line of scrimmage. You name the thing that Pat Surtain can do, and he can do it. It's unfortunate that against the Dallas Cowboys, there were some really physical plays that he was involved with. If you remember at the beginning of the game, everybody would have thought that if he was going to be injured, it would have been the knee. It would have been the knee, and then he goes out for a shoulder injury. And now we're hearing from Mike Kliss and Adam Schefter and Ian Rapoport that it is a pec strain. And I'm looking at it right now on my phone. I don't have my usual setup, so I have to go to my notes here on my phone. But I mean, it's tough. It is really, really tough. And I thought that as soon as Chris Abrams-Draine got in the game against the Dallas Cowboys, you really started to see CeeDee Lamb take advantage of the talent disparity. I mean, CeeDee Lamb is one of the best in the league, there's no doubt, but Chris Abrams-Draine was getting picked apart. Still, though, I think there are some really good things to build upon, right? Like Chris Abrams-Draine is strong and powerful, long and lengthy. But now it is really, chess, not checkers. Sean Payton and Vance Joseph, they're going to have to play chess here because maybe you have to move some players around. Maybe you have to, move Brandon Jones a little bit. Maybe you have to move Jaquan McMillan a little bit. Jade moves to the outside. I'm curious to see what they do with their starting lineup next week. My guess is, though, is that you are going to see Jade on the outside. He's going to have to play lockdown corner. Same with Riley Moss, but we knew that. And then Jaquan McMillan would slide into that nickel corner spot, who has also, by the way, made a ton of plays this year. So if I were to trust someone to slide into that nickel spot, it would absolutely be Jaquan McMillan, his position, straight out of the gate. So this is why you hit subscribe for the breaking news and fans who have been here that, are just joining us in the video. Pat Surtain out for the next 4 to 6 weeks with a pec strain, and it's not good, but I do believe in this coaching staff. I believe that the Broncos are on a hot streak right now. I think everybody has come together. I think offensively things look better. So putting points on the board is now more important than ever for this Denver Broncos team. I'm going to keep you updated. I'll bring a video for you tomorrow. Actually, a couple of videos for you tomorrow. Make sure you hit the thumbs up icon. And as always, mile high salute to you. Be cool.